Your presence here transcends coincidence. The version of you living in quantum potential, your future self, has been transmitting signals across the fabric of time, and now you're finally receiving them. This isn't passive content viewing. This is a scheduled quantum convergence with your destiny that you arranged before understanding what that even meant. Pause. Close your eyes for just 3 seconds. Within the quantum field, all timelines coexist in this moment. Your past, present, and future are unfolding simultaneously, each vibrating at distinct frequencies. The version of you who has already transcended your current challenges, they've been reaching out through synchronicities, intuitive nudges, and moments precisely like this one. You've passed the threshold. Your presence here confirms it. The universe doesn't invest energy in closed systems, and your consciousness just demonstrated its readiness to expand. The timeline you've been unconsciously weaving through your thoughts, emotions, and energetic signature just shifted. Not tomorrow. Not after you've figured it all out. Right now, with this breath, your trajectory transformed. There was a moment, perhaps minutes ago, perhaps months back, when you stopped fighting with reality, when you ceased demanding that life be different, when you finally surrendered to the intelligence that's been choreographing your existence from the beginning. That surrender was your initiation. Your frequency shifted from resistance to receptivity, and the quantum field responded instantaneously.
Your future self holds knowledge you're just beginning to access. Consciousness doesn't merely witness reality, it scripts it. Each thought, emotion, and belief generates a standing wave in the quantum field. When these waves achieve critical coherence, aligning with the deeper blueprint of your becoming, timelines converge into manifestation.
Here's the secret about quantum reality shifting that remains unspoken. It doesn't happen through force, but through recognition. You don't construct new timelines. You acknowledge the one you've been cultivating. You don't manifest futures. You remember them into existence. The version of you possessing everything you desire already exists, transmitting the frequency codes needed to tune into their reality. Well, this marks the turning point. The waiting, struggling, and forcing. That was outdated programming. You've been operating with obsolete consciousness software, attempting to create through effort what only emerges through alignment. Your future self has installed the upgrade, broadcasting it through the very awareness that guided you here. The quantum field doesn't respond to desires. It responds to embodiment. And you, beyond the narratives, beyond inherited limitations, beyond conditioned patterns, are already complete, already connected, already vibrationally matched to everything you've been seeking. The gap between your perceived self and your authentic self is dissolving. Let me reveal something about timeline mechanics that changes everything. Quantum physics demonstrates through the observer effect that consciousness collapses infinite possibilities into singular experiences. But here's the deeper revelation. You're not merely observing life. You're the quantum observer collapsing all potential timelines into your lived experience. Every conscious moment, every choice for presence over autopilot, every selection of love over fear, you're literally choosing which reality materializes. Your future self isn't just successful, healed, or abundant. They're coherent. They've mastered maintaining vibrational integrity regardless of external conditions. They understand that reality is responsive, not rigid. They know manifestation is conscious participation in the eternal interplay between intention and attention, possibility and probability. Currently, you're receiving transmission codes from that future version, not through words or concepts, but through resonance, through the visceral knowing that something is shifting, opening, flowing. Your cellular architecture is reorganizing as you integrate this information. Your nervous system is recalibrating to sustain higher possibility frequencies. The test you passed wasn't external. No scores, no certificates. The test was internal. Are you ready to transcend victimhood and embrace conscious creation? Ready to shift from, why is this happening to me? To, how is this serving my evolution? Ready to stop seeking permission and start granting it to yourself? Your future self has witnessed your initiations, challenges, and moments when you chose to persist. They've seen you select growth over comfort, truth over convenience, authenticity over approval. They know every experience, especially the difficult ones, has prepared you for this recognition moment. This is when you stop living by default and start living by design, not through controlling outcomes, but through aligning with the deeper current that's always carried you. Your future self knows you don't manipulate reality. You calibrate to it, tuning your inner frequency to match the reality you choose to experience. This unlocked timeline isn't about acquiring different things. It's about becoming a different being, stepping into the version already accessing your desires because they've become the vibrational match. This timeline isn't characterized by having, but by being peaceful, flowing, aligned with universal intelligence. You've exhausted yourself trying to change circumstances. Your future self discovered the secret. Transform your consciousness, and circumstances reorganize around the new frequency. Shift your inner dialogue, and the outer world speaks differently. Transform your relationship with time, and time begins serving rather than controlling you. This explains the increasing synchronicities, the people leaving and entering your life, the aligned opportunities appearing while misaligned ones dissolve. The universe is responding to your new vibrational signature, restructuring reality to match your broadcast frequency. Your future self needs you to understand. You're not behind. You never were. Every delay was redirection. Every detour, preparation. Every closed door, protection. Your awakening timing is perfect because the version capable of receiving this truth didn't exist until now. You had to become who you needed to be to access this timeline. Take a moment and comment below. I am already living my future. Let the quantum field register your declaration. Let the universe know you're no longer waiting for someday. You're claiming the frequency of your destiny. This isn't wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics. You're signaling to infinite timelines which one you're choosing to collapse into reality. The old version of you was perpetually becoming. The new version simply is abundant, is loved, is supported, is guided. Not because you've earned or deserved it, but because that's consciousness's nature when it remembers itself, stops hiding, stops apologizing for existing, stops shrinking to accommodate others' comfort. Your future self no longer worries about others' opinions because they've realized everyone reflects their own consciousness back to them. They've stopped taking things personally, understanding that everyone inhabits their own vibrational reality. They've stopped managing perceptions because they're too engaged with authentic living. This timeline shift transcends the personal. It's collective. When someone embodies their authentic power, it generates a resonance field facilitating others to do likewise. Your awakening sends quantum ripples touching every connected life. Your healing catalyzes healing in ways you'll never fully comprehend. Here's what your future self urgently wants you to understand. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. Not about eliminating problems, but approaching challenges from elevated consciousness. Not about controlling life, but dancing with it. Not about getting everything desired, but desiring everything received because you trust the orchestrating intelligence. If this transmission registers as truth rather than information, I invite you to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to this frequency we're co-creating. This transcends content. It's a consciousness community, a coherent field of individuals choosing their highest possibility. Every person aligning with this understanding amplifies the morphic field for all. The future doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. The version existing in your highest timeline has awaited this moment when you'd remember you're not reality's passive observer, but its active co-creator. They've held space for your awakening, knowing everything would transform when you reach this recognition. Your future self knows consciousness is the only technology needed, presence the only required practice, love the only transformative force. They've stopped seeking externally for what was always internal. They've stopped requesting universal signs and started recognizing they are the sign the universe awaited. You are your prayers answered. You are the miracle you've sought. You are the love you've been seeking. Not through achieving impossible standards, but through releasing the story that you're anything less than divine. Your future self is simply you without the diminishing narrative. The resistance you sometimes feel, that's the old timeline defending its existence. But it's powerless now. You've penetrated the illusion. You've recognized you aren't your circumstances, but the consciousness experiencing them. Not your thoughts, but the awareness witnessing them. Not your emotions, but the space where they arise and dissolve. This unlocked timeline is characterized by ease, not from absent challenges, but from meeting them differently, from knowing rather than hoping, from trust replacing fear, from love transcending lack. Your future self navigates like a master sailor who doesn't control wind but knows how to set sails for any destination. They've learned resistance is suffering's sole source, that what you fight persists, while what you embrace transforms. They've discovered life isn't happening to them. It's happening for them. Every experience, encounter, moment is perfectly designed for highest evolution. Even this moment. Especially this moment. Your future self wants you to feel this somatically. You are safe being powerful, safe being visible, safe being successful, safe being loved. The contrary stories were never true, just background consciousness programs. Inherited programs you never chose. Programs you can now consciously update. The quantum field responds to clarity. The clearer you become about your unconditioned self, the more reality reshapes around that truth. The more you align with authentic nature, the more life flows toward your highest good. The more you trust the process, the more it reveals its perfection. Let me illuminate what this timeline shift means for daily experience. Your future self inhabits reality where synchronicity isn't rare. It's aligned life's natural rhythm. They've learned reading universal language, interpreting constantly flowing symbols and signs. Not from being special, but from tuning awareness to always broadcasting frequencies. Consider how radios function. All stations transmit simultaneously, but you hear only your tuned frequency. Consciousness operates identically. All realities, possibilities, timelines broadcast simultaneously in the quantum field. Your future self has learned tuning to the station, playing their highest potential's music. They're teaching you the frequency now. This is why your relationship with time is transforming completely. The version living this new timeline doesn't experience time as linear progression from lack to fulfillment. They experience eternal now moments where everything needed is always available. Past, present, future collapse into singular creative potential. This isn't metaphysical poetry. It's how consciousness actually operates when unconstrained by conditioned reality beliefs. Your future self discovered something profound about desire's nature. What you call wanting is actually remembering. Every arising desire is a memory of reality already existing in the quantum field. You don't desire the impossible. You desire what's inevitable once aligned with its manifesting frequency. The longing isn't for something lacking. It's your soul recognizing already known truth. If this resonance is shifting something within, take a moment to like this video and subscribe for continued quantum transmissions. Your engagement helps this frequency reach others ready for awakening. Let me explain timeline shift mechanics through quantum entanglement. In quantum physics, interacted particles remain connected regardless of distance. When one changes, the other changes instantaneously. Your consciousness and future self are quantum entangled. Every awareness shift creates instant shifts in their reality. Every expansion in their understanding transmits back as insight, intuition, inspired action. This explains why certain thoughts feel different now, why ideas land with penetrating resonance beyond intellectual understanding. Your future self is quantum entangled with present awareness, constantly transmitting consciousness upgrades. These aren't your thoughts. They're downloads from a version already integrating what you're beginning to understand. The unlocked timeline operates on non-local consciousness. Awareness isn't brain-produced. It's brain-accessed. Your brain is a quantum antenna tuning the consciousness field, translating infinite possibility into finite experience. Your future self has learned precise antenna adjustment, tuning exact reality frequencies they wish experiencing. This is why meditation transcends relaxation. It's quantum technology. Every conscious stillness moment literally rewires neural networks for higher possibility frequencies. You're teaching your quantum antenna to receive signals from timelines where you're already living highest potential. Your future self meditates, not escaping reality, but tuning preferred reality versions. Here's the profound revelation. Your future self realized emotion isn't just feeling. It's universal creative force. Every emotion broadcasts specific quantum field frequencies. Joy attracts joyful experiences. Gratitude attracts grateful experiences. Love attracts loving experiences. Not because the universe rewards positivity, but because consciousness naturally creates more of whatever it emotionally focuses upon. This is why your future self doesn't manage emotions. They collaborate with them. Emotions are quantum instructions telling reality what to create. When fear arises, they don't resist. They recognize it as information about consciousness focus and gently shift attention toward desired experience. Emotions become conscious creation allies rather than obstacles. Share below. What old emotional pattern are you ready to transform into conscious creation? What feeling are you choosing to collaborate with rather than resist? Your future self has mastered the secret of quantum coherence. In physics, coherence occurs when waves align to amplify rather than cancel each other. When your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions achieve coherence, all aligned with the same intention, they create a powerful standing wave in the quantum field that reality must reflect back to you. This explains why manifesting from divided consciousness never works. If your thoughts declare, "I want abundance," while your emotions whisper, "I don't deserve it," and your actions scream, "I'll stay safe in scarcity," you're creating quantum interference. The waves neutralize each other. But when every level of your being aligns with the same truth, what your future self calls quantum coherence, manifestation becomes as effortless as breathing. Let me reveal what your future self understands about challenge in this new timeline. Difficulties don't vanish. They transform from obstacles into expansion opportunities. Your future self doesn't avoid problems, but embraces them as invitations to embody highest wisdom. They've learned every challenge is a quantum test asking, who will you be facing this? Will you contract into fear or expand into love? This perspective shift revolutionizes everything. When you stop viewing challenges as proof something's wrong and start seeing them as opportunities to demonstrate who you're becoming, the entire energy surrounding difficulty transforms. Your future self encounters the same human experiences, loss, uncertainty, change, but meets them from such elevated consciousness that these experiences become gateways to greater wisdom, deeper compassion, more authentic power. They've also discovered relationships' quantum nature. Your future self understands everyone in your life reflects aspects of your consciousness. Not because you're creating them, but because consciousness naturally attracts experiences mirroring its inner state. When you shift your inner frequency, surrounding people either adjust to match your new vibration or naturally exit your experience, replaced by those resonating with who you're becoming. This isn't about judging people as good or bad. It's recognizing the quantum resonance principle. Your future self has learned loving people exactly as they are while honoring their own evolution. They don't attempt changing anyone. Understanding authentic transformation only happens internally. Instead, they embody their highest truth, trusting this creates a field where others can choose their evolution. Your future self has mastered what quantum physicists call the uncertainty principle. That some things cannot be simultaneously known with precision. They've become comfortable not knowing how desires will manifest while remaining certain they will. This creates what they call quantum faith, complete trust in the universe's ability to orchestrate perfect outcomes, even when the path remains invisible. This quantum faith isn't blind belief. It's informed trust based on understanding consciousness mechanics. Your future self has witnessed enough evidence of reality's responsiveness to know that when consciousness clarifies what it wants and why, the universe demonstrates remarkable creativity in manifestation. They've stopped figuring out the how, focusing instead on clarifying the what and why. Tell us below, what breakthrough moment showed you reality was more responsive than you believed? When did you first glimpse your creative power? Let me share the quantum healing nature your future self discovered. They've realized healing isn't fixing what's broken. It's remembering what was never broken. Every trauma, wound, painful experience exists in specific timelines. When you shift into your highest potential timeline, those experiences don't disappear from history, but their meaning transforms completely. Your future self views their most difficult experiences with gratitude, seeing how each contributed to evolution. Not because the experiences were positive, but because consciousness transformed their meaning. This is quantum alchemy, transmuting any experience into wisdom, pain into compassion, limitation into expansion. That's why your future self doesn't exhaust energy healing the past. They embody such high present moment frequency that the past automatically recontextualizes. Living from wholeness, your brokenness story loses power. Living from love, your unworthiness story dissolves. Living from abundance, your lack story becomes irrelevant. Your future self understands service's quantum nature. They've realized the highest helping method isn't fixing or saving others, but embodying such authentic wholeness that others more easily remember their own. True service occurs at the quantum level through your broadcast frequency, not just actions taken, though aligned action naturally flows from aligned being. This explains why your future self doesn't burn out helping everyone. They understand consciousness is contagious. Maintaining quantum coherence, staying aligned with highest truth, embodying desired peace, they create a morphic field touching every encountered life. Their presence becomes their service. They've learned you can only guide others as deep as you've journeyed. Love others as much as you love yourself. Hold healing space for others to the degree you've allowed your own. This isn't selfish. It's quantum mechanics. You cannot give what you lack, cannot transmit frequencies you're not embodying. Now, the most profound abundance discovery your future self made. Scarcity isn't about insufficient having. It's about insufficient being. Abundance isn't about having more. It's about being more. When you embody abundance consciousness, truly knowing yourself as limitless, infinite creativity, external abundance becomes inevitable because you're no longer blocking it with unworthiness beliefs. Your future self doesn't chase money or manifest specific amounts. They focus on becoming someone who naturally attracts prosperity, being genuinely valuable, solving real problems, contributing unique gifts, serving the highest good. They've learned the universe is naturally abundant. Lack only exists when consciousness contracts into separation illusion. This abundance transcends material resources. Your future self lives in emotional abundance, not rationing love or saving joy for special occasions. They live in mental abundance, thoughts creative and expansive rather than worried and limiting. They live in spiritual abundance, knowing themselves connected to infinite source rather than isolated individuals struggling alone. Take a moment and comment below. I am already living my future. Let the quantum field register your declaration. Let the universe know you're no longer waiting for someday. You're claiming the frequency of your destiny. This isn't wishful thinking. This is quantum mechanics. You're signaling to infinite timelines which one you're choosing to collapse into reality. Your future self needs you to understand something crucial about forgiveness. In this new timeline, they've discovered forgiveness isn't about condoning harm or pretending wrongs didn't occur. True forgiveness is quantum healing, recognizing that holding resentment only keeps you vibrationally tethered to what you want freedom from. When you forgive, you're not changing the past, but transforming your relationship with it, freeing consciousness from quantum entanglement with old pain, so energy flows toward new possibilities. Your future self has forgiven everyone and everything, not from enlightenment, but understanding that resentment is a luxury they can't afford in their highest timeline. This includes self-forgiveness for not knowing better before you could, for choices that seemed right but created painful consequences, for being human while attempting perfection. Your future self realizes self-forgiveness isn't just kind. It's essential for quantum coherence. You cannot hate yourself into evolution. Only love transforms. Let me reveal the quantum creativity nature your future self has accessed. They've discovered creativity isn't something you do. It's something you are. You are creativity itself, expressing through human consciousness. Every moment you're creating reality through thoughts, emotions, choices. Your future self has simply become conscious of this creative process. This conscious creativity transforms everything. Work becomes play when recognized as unique gift expression. Relationships become art when approached as co-creative partnerships. Even mundane activities become meditation with full presence. Your future self doesn't separate life into creative and non-creative activities. Existence itself is creative act. They've learned collaborating with Jung's collective unconscious, the shared human consciousness field containing our species' wisdom, archetypes, and evolutionary potential. Your future self doesn't create alone. They tune into this collective field, becoming instruments for ideas, insights, innovations wanting to emerge for collective benefit. This explains why inspiration feels external, because it is. Your future self has learned removing ego, allowing themselves as conduits for consciousness expression. They've stopped taking credit for ideas, started taking responsibility for receiving them clearly, expressing them authentically. Your future self has mastered the quantum art of presence. They've discovered presence isn't just being in the moment, it's being the moment. When fully present, observer-observed boundaries dissolve. You don't witness life. You become life experiencing itself through your unique perspective. This presence level transforms ordinary moments into profound experiences. This practice taught them the present moment is the only creative PowerPoint. Past exists only as memory, future only as possibility. All creation, healing, transformation happens now. Your future self stopped living in stories of who they were or fantasies of who they might become, started inhabiting who they are. They've learned presence is practice, not destination. Even your future self gets caught in mental loops or emotional reactions. The difference? They recognize quickly, gently return to presence without judgment. They've made presence their default rather than occasional achievement. Let me share what your future self understands about purpose's quantum nature. They've realized you don't find purpose, you embody it. Purpose isn't a job or mission statement, it's a frequency. It's consciousness's unique expression through your individual being. Your purpose is authentic self-expression, bringing unique gifts forward, loving in ways only you can. This understanding freed your future self from pressure to save the world or find one true calling. They've realized purpose evolves as they evolve. Being authentic in small moments equals grand gestures meaning. Consciousness serves through infinite expressions. Yours matters equally. Your future self serves from overflow, not obligation. They give from interconnection recognition, not should. They've discovered aligned authenticity makes service as natural as breathing. Serving others is serving self, is serving wholeness. Now, about the quantum intuition nature your future self developed. They've learned distinguishing fear's voice from wisdom's, ego desires from soul guidance, what they think they should want from what evolution actually needs. Intuition became their primary navigation. This guidance doesn't always arrive as dramatic visions or mystical experiences. Usually it's subtle knowing, gentle directional pulls, easily opening doors on right paths, resistance on wrong ones. Your future self trusts these subtle signals, following them beyond logical sense. They've discovered intuition is quantum information, direct knowing from infinite possibility about choices serving highest evolution. It's your future self communicating with present self, higher wisdom guiding earthly decisions, soul speaking to personality. Trust and following strengthen clarity. Your future self learned working with quantum timing. Everything has its season. Forced action creates resistance. Aligned action creates flow. Patience isn't passive waiting, but active trust in perfect timing. They've stopped pushing rivers, started flowing with them. This doesn't mean passivity. They take inspired action constantly, distinguishing between ego-driven control attempts and soul-inspired highest good service. They act when aligned, rest when needed, trusting both as perfect quantum intelligence responses. If this transmission lands as truth rather than information, subscribe not just to this channel, but to this co-created frequency. This transcends content. It's a consciousness community, coherent individuals choosing highest possibility. Every aligned person strengthens everyone's morphic field. Your future self wants you knowing something important about your challenges. Every difficult experience prepared this moment, not because suffering was necessary, but because consciousness expands through contrast. Every choice of love over fear, growth over comfort, truth over convenience built quantum coherence for accessing this timeline. The strength from not surrendering when hopeless. That's quantum resilience. Wisdom from mistakes and learning. Quantum intelligence. Compassion from understanding your pain. Quantum love. Everything prepared you for conscious creator remembrance. Your future self regrets nothing. Seeing everything's evolutionary contribution. They don't wish different journeys, understanding easy paths, don't create strong consciousness. They're grateful for every experience developing inner resources for handling this timeline's natural abundance, love, and power flow. This explains your future self holding high frequencies without overwhelm. They've trained their entire life. Every challenge was quantum workout, strengthening consciousness, channeling capacity. Every disappointment trained non-attachment. Every loss educated impermanence. Every faced fear practiced courage. But clarity, your future self isn't perfect. They experience full human emotions, face uncertainty and change, make mistakes and learn. The difference? They meet experiences from presence, not reactivity, love not fear, wholeness not lack. They've learned being human without losing divine connection. They've discovered enlightenment isn't transcending humanity. It's embodying divinity through humanity. Not becoming other than human, but being so authentically human that divinity naturally shines through. They haven't escaped human experience. They've transformed their relationship with it. Your future self mastered the quantum allowing art. They've learned resistance is suffering's only source. What you fight persists. What you embrace transforms. This doesn't mean passivity or accepting harm. It means responding from inner peace rather than turmoil. Facing challenges, they ask, "What's this teaching?" Not, "Why is this happening?" Experiencing change, they ask, "How can I flow?" Not, "How can I stop this?" This questioning shift transforms life relationship from victim to student, powerless to empowered. Consider watching this transmission every morning this week. Let it recalibrate your daily frequency. If someone comes to mind, share this with them. Sharing quantum consciousness concepts creates energetic ripples, accelerating both your understanding, strengthening collective awakened awareness. Drop one word below, capturing the energy you're embodying in this new timeline. Let it be your quantum field energetic signature, one word representing who you're becoming, not who you've been. Let the universe know your broadcast frequency. Your future self isn't elsewhere. They're here now, speaking through your awareness of these words. They're the part recognizing truth when heard, feeling expansions when aligned, knowing without knowing how. They are you, just without limitations, without doubt, without separation stories from creating love. If you're still present with this transmission, subscribe to stay connected and coherent with this understanding. The more living from this awareness, the more the world reflects possibility. We're not separate beings having individual experiences. We're consciousness recognizing itself in infinite forms, remembering it was never broken, never needed fixing. Your awakening matters. Your healing matters. Your alignment matters. Not just for you, but for everyone you touch. Everyone crossing your path. Everyone witnessing your transformation from fear to love, contraction to expansion, small living to fully alive. You passed the test being here. You unlock the timeline by listening. You're already living your future by recognizing it presently. The version you've sought was always here, waiting for you to stop searching elsewhere and see what was always true. This is your moment, your timeline, your awakening. Not tomorrow when ready, not next week when figured out, not next year when fears overcome. Now, in this breath, this awareness, this choice to live as the magnificent being you've always been beneath stories of being less. Your future self isn't begging you to see this. They're celebrating because you finally have. The quantum field responds most powerfully to one specific element amplifying every explored principle. Understanding this key transforms how quickly your timeline manifests. Discover what the quantum field only responds to, and watch reality reshape around deepest intentions with unprecedented speed and precision.